I didn't care about any men coming and going. I just was not
You didn't care
interested.
about anybody
No,
at that
I did
point.
not. I did not. I mean, this was in February. This event was in February, and I had only been separated since September. But to make the bosses not be upset at me, I did. I said, okay. So, and he's, yeah, here we go. So,
Come here. I want to ask you something. Come in the back room with me. Listen to her now. Well, I don't know why I was doing it in the office. I come to the office.
because you came to the office every day, but evidently I didn't see you there every day.
Maybe I did come in
You
the hour.
did.
But anyway, she said, come in the back room with me. I want to ask you something.
So we did, and it was, it was a nice dinner. They had big formal tables, and it was a dinner and whatever they did, and then they had a dance, and he was like dancing with a broom because he was so stiff.
Oh, that's where I get my dance skills from, I guess, huh?
So that was in February.
You were
So-
like dancing with a broom, Dad. Mm.
So what was funny about it?
Was it Valentine's?
I doubt it. It was just when the AGC had this meeting. It was just in
Okay.
February. After we got married, the first Valentine's Day, this was after we started going to Good News. After we got married, of course I was there already. Valentine's Day came around, and there was a Valentine's Day dinner in the evening. Okay, Dallas, of course, he was the preacher, right? And they had a version of the dating game. I don't know if you remember that on
yes.
TV.
Yeah,
Where
yeah.
one half of the couple would go out and leave the room, and they'd ask questions, and then bring the other one back in to see the answers, to see how many got the right answers. One of the questions, all of us. So what they did is that they randomly, and when I realized later what they had done, they didn't ask us. It was like, we're going to play this game, and this is who's going to be on the contestants. And they had somebody that had been married like 40 years. They had somebody just married maybe 10 or 15 years, and then somebody else, and then there was us who we had just gotten married, right? So one of the questions to the men was, where did you go on your first date?
No, yeah.
So I come back in and I'm thinking, oh, now this is not going to sound good. So
What's an arm?
my answer was the Omni. His answer was the Omni Hotel.
Yeah, that was.
I was quite embarrassed, to say the least. Of course, everybody thought it was hilarious. The whole crowd just,
Uh-huh.
I probably turned red. And then I probably got mad at him because he said the Omni Hotel.
Had to throw that out there. Just to make sure you know what I'm talking about.
Right.
Wink, wink.
He thought that was smart.
I did.
That was funny. So you went to the Omni for your first date, and then where'd you go?
She just started chasing.
Right, and then he would leave. He would leave notes in my car, and would leave little gifts in my car when he'd come by in the afternoons.
Did you do that?
And I would get all these
She's
cards,
exaggerating.
cards in the mail.
Oh, you was working it.
Mm.
She was cute though. I don't blame you.
Did I do all that?
You must have did okay.
I guess you did. And then he would come get us on Sunday afternoon and take Dennis to McDonald's. I'll go to Donald's and get some fries. I'll go to Donald's and get fries. I mean, he loved him, right? He'd take him to Donald's and get fries.
Yeah. Dad. You worked your way right in there. You were like,
And then he came over and fixed my daddy's picture window, and Daddy thought he was amazing.
oh yeah.
When he took those 2 windows, those 4 window panels, whatever he took out, and put new windows that were leaking.
And then,
Oh man, Daddy was like, wow.
then they were trying to tell you
Yeah.
you should probably marry him because
Right.
he was handy.
Daddy thought he was just smartest thing he's seen since peanut butter, I guess.
Mm-hmm. And then you got married.
What is that? He told your mama when she was looking to buy the condo that I am tired of calling Tommy over here at this house to fix all his problems. We're gonna buy us a new place.
Then you got to go to the new place and do stuff.
Yeah, then I gotta go to the new place and do stuff right. Oh my.
You ever go back?
I remember.
You ever go back to that neighborhood where you grew up? Where your mom's
Not a
house
long
was?
time. Where I grew up, not a long time.
We rode through there one time.
It's been a
20
while.
years ago.
Did it look so small? It's so funny. Anytime I ride by the house on Greenwood Drive, it just looks so small compared to everything was bigger when you're
Yeah.
little. You see everything
Oh
different.
yeah, that was a nice little house. I liked that house, that little Cape Cod.
It was nice. Had a neat upstairs. It had that
Had the big room.
that
big
finished
room.
room in the middle
Right, and then the 2 bedrooms.
and 2 bedrooms.
Yeah.
It was good. It was a nice house.
I like the front porch.
Oh, I like the front porch too. I spent
Yeah,
my whole
closed it in.
my whole dating years sitting on the front porch with Jimmy Stewart. Sat on that front porch forever. He was so shy. I mean, what did we date 2 years and he still couldn't carry on a conversation? Very the shy, so shy.
I remember that house when I put the fireplace in them. You remember when I put the fireplace in there? It don't make
Probably
it.
not.
It don't
No.
make it. The living room.
Oh yeah, the far wall.
Mm-hmm. Outside wall and end.
Well, there was a window there, and I told Mary, I said, well, we can put us a fireplace in this room. So I started.
Because you had to stand in front of it to get warm.
Well, that's
'Cause it
why
was
we
real
put the
cold.
wood stove. I mean,
I started building that fireplace, and I had that thing, one of the pre-engineered fireplaces, just like you got right now. And I was making, I set everything on the outside of the house, where it would take up floor space inside. So I built this
box.
on the outside of the house. And I set the fireplace in there, and then I set the stacks in there, carrying them up. And I was on top of the fireplace one day.
And it was a Cape Cod, so it was high, just like your roof. You know, had to go up above the.
And
Upstairs.
I think I was sitting on top of it doing something. And this old colored fella, he was riding
Was
his
he
bicycle.
was it black? Was he black?
Yes, honey.
And then he was not.
This old colored fella come, he was riding his bicycle down the street, down Greenwood Drive, and he stopped. And I looked over there at him, and I kept on working. He just kept looking at me. Then all of a sudden, he said, Mister. And I turned around, yes, sir. What you building? I said, well, I'm fixing this fireplace for my wood stove. He shook his head. I ain't never seen nobody build a fireplace out of wood. Got on his bicycle and rode away. Oh, my. And then Blackie, that mutt dog, she lived under the house.
She was a good girl.
Oh, she was a good dog. But she'd get there at the front.
Right underneath our bedroom.
The front vent.
Take it at the vent.
At the vent, right. I don't care who was walking up down the street or riding up, Blackie would start to howling. And people looking all around, where's that mean dog at? Where's that dog at? Blackie's underneath the house.
She's peeking at him.
Peeking out
She
here.
was.
Oh, man. Oh, Oh, Mr. Fleming. Miss Blackie for a day. What in the world was that? I said, Mr. Fleming, you seen Blackie? I think dog catcher might have got the dog catcher. Why? She don't run the neighborhood? I think the dog catcher got her. I waited another day. I went down to the dog pound and had Blackie in the dog pound.
Where we got
That
Cassie.
ain't something. Why have you got me? Then I had to pay a fine to get her out, like $30. At that time, that was a lot of money. And then come to find out, the dog catcher had pulled into my driveway. The dog catcher pulled into the driveway
And took her out of our yard.
and took her out of the yard. And I told her, and it was a fat girl. Told that fat girl, you come in my yard again, I'm gonna call the police to have you arrested.
Why in the world would they do that?
Because she could, evidently.
Yeah.
Didn't see anybody.
Yeah.
Because she could.
Pulled right in the driveway. Mr. Fleming said he saw her.
Wow.
Backed into the driveway, put back in the back of the truck.
And she was like, "Where are we going?
Yeah, well, they said.
We're going for a ride."
No, because all she could do was jump the fence and run over to his
We
house.
couldn't keep her in the yard because she climbed the fence to go see Mr. Fleming.
Had a
She
fence
loved-
in the backyard, all she do was
Climbed
jump the
it.
fence,
She climbed the fence.
She
and
loved
come
Mr.
across the street
Fleming.
to Mr. Fleming's house.
Yeah, old man lived across the street.
And they walked down to the colonial store every day.
Yep.
Blackie and Mr. Fleming went to the colonial store every day. She sat outside and waited for him while they went in and did his shopping. Mr. Fleming said, everybody thinks that dog is mine.
She was a good girl. She lived a long time too.
She did.
Cause I was only,
She
I was what, 5 maybe when I got her. Cause I was living with Nanny, 5 or 6. I wasn't very old at all. And
Yep.
I was probably, was I married when she, I know I was close to being married if I wasn't married already when she
Probably so.
was,
You probably were.
had to be put down. Yeah, she was old.
Mm-hmm.
She was an old girl. She was probably 15, 16.
Oh, yeah.
At
I'm
least.
Sure she was.
She ain't live in the house like our dog, though.
Heck no. The only time she went in was when there was a storm when she could get in somebody's door.
If
she
it
was
was
so-
thunder, I don't care where she was at. If she seen a door, she was gonna run in the house.
'Cause we
She
had to
didn't
go-
care whose house it was. She was gonna run in the house, and she'd get behind the couch. That little space behind. She'd run behind the couch. She'd
Went
run
across-
behind the refrigerator.
Yeah, that's what she did across the street.
and
She
behind
wedged
the
herself
refrigerator.
in.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. The,
She was scared of
the house there beside, on the other side of the Blaylocks. It was a man lived there by himself. When she got in his house during the storm, and he come over after the storm was over. Your dog's in my kitchen, so we went over there, and it was a little kitchen, and it was the refrigerator and the stove, and she had wedged herself into space about this wide, and she said, "I ain't coming out. You had to come after me." And then the other time she was next door in an apartment building.
And yeah, she went in the apartment building next door.
And they didn't know her. They were new people, and they didn't know her. And they come next door and say, "You dog," and I'm scared to touch her. I mean, she'd have just licked them, but they didn't know her, so we had to go get her from over there.
Yeah, don't let the door be open, 'cause Black was gonna run in that door.
Well,
I know it.
it was.
Oh, listen.
Oh, that's your friend.